Hello, hello, hello. Hello, YouTube. I am on here to speak to the women in hip hop, the women in the hip hop music business, okay? That's who I'm on here to speak to. The women. Now, the women in hip hop, they are sending a deceiving message out to the young women who listen to their lyrics. The women in hip hop. But it's been that way back in 1996 and 1997. They was doing the same thing. I just couldn't see it then. I can see it now because I'm walking in the light of Jesus Christ. So I'm over here to speak to the women in hip hop. The women. Yes, the women in hip hop. That's who I'm over here to speak to, okay? The women out there. The women. Because the women in hip hop do influence people. They do influence. The women in hip hop, trap queens, they are influencing young women, and they don't need the young women are unaware of it. They're being influenced. They are being influenced by the way they dressing and everything. So that's what I'm on here to speak to. Thank y'all for tuning in. Merry Christmas. Hello. Okay. The women, the women, the women rappers in hip hop are sending a deceiving message to the young women in this world today. Yes, the women in hip hop, what they call themselves the trap queens. The trap queens are sending a deceiving message. Okay, right here on the front of the hoodie, the message in hip hop, sending out to the young men and women. It's a deceiving message. The young women, the women in hip hop that are rapping about twerking and taking their clothes off, it's a deceiving message. Revelation 14:7 says, Satan threw down to the earth. Now a war arose in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. The dragon and his angels fought back, was defeated. There was no longer any place for them in heaven. The great dragon was thrown down, the Antichrist, the serpent called the devil, Satan, the devil who is deceiving the whole world. So the devil is deceiving the women in hip hop with the twerking song, with the twerking and taking off your clothes. That does have an influence. The devil is deceiving the women rappers in hip hop that talk about being a trap queen, get money, cars, clothes. They being deceived. The devil is deceiving the women rappers in hip hop. The women. The message that's being sent out to young women who are listening, who are listening to these women in hip hop. They're being deceived. The devil is deceiving the young women who are listening to these women. The women who are listening to Cardi B, the women who are listening to Gorilla, even Little Kim from back in the 90s. Cardi B and Gorilla and whoever else out there. Megan Thee Stallion. The devil is deceiving. He's deceiving the female rappers who are getting on the microphone, on the where microphone is, who are getting on the microphone, rapping about rapping about explicit, violent things. So that's who I'm on here to talk to. It's a deceiving message that's being sent out. Okay. Yep. The message that hip hop rap artists are sending out. It's a deceiving message. And these young girls are listening to this. They're listening to this and they're being deceived, teaching them how to twerk and how to take their clothes off and how to be vulgar. That's a deceiving message. So I'm praying for the women in hip hop, and I'm praying for Sexy Red. Sexy Red is being deceived. Her name is not Sexy Red. She's being deceived. Cardi B is being deceived. These women are being deceived. Sexy Red is being deceived. A lot of young women are trying to be like Sexy Red. They being deceived. The devil is deceiving Sexy Red, and he's deceiving the women who are listening to her. So the women in hip hop, the women in hip hop, the women in hip hop who are sending a deceiving message to the young women in the world today. Sexy Red, I'm praying for you. You being deceived. I'm praying for Cardi B. I'm praying for Gorilla. I'm praying for all the women in hip hop who are being deceived. The devil is deceiving y'all. Y'all are being deceived. It's a deceiving message what y'all putting out. Y'all sending a deceiving message. Yes, the message. The message that hip hop rap artists are sending out to young men and women is a deceiving message. It's deeper than rap. That's why so many women out there, young women are dressing like they're dressing. They being influenced by Sexy Red. The message that Sexy Red is sending out is a deceiving message. The message that Cardi B is sending out is a deceiving message. So I'm praying for the women in hip hop. The women, the women in hip hop are being deceived. The devil is real and he's deceiving y'all. Y'all being deceived. I'm praying for y'all. I'm praying for the young girls, the young women in this world who are being deceived. The young women in this world who listen to Cardi B and Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion, they're being deceived too. The devil is real and he's deceiving these women. The message that's being sent out, the message that the female rappers are sending, the message that the female rappers send is a deceiving message. Make sure I get it right. The women rappers in hip hop are sending a deceiving message to the young women. There's so many young girls out there who are being deceived, who listen to rapper Sexy Red. The message that Sexy Red is sending out is a deceiving message. The message that Gorilla sent out deceiving message. Millions of young girls are being deceived. They're being deceived. They're being deceived. So I'm praying that God's goodness and kindness and love will lead them to repentance. It's a deceiving message. Sexy Red, Cardi B, Gorilla, the message that they are sending out is a deceiving message. It's a deceiving message. Here we go. Right there. I'm praying for Sexy Red in hip hop. The hip hop rap artist named Sexy Red and Cardi B. I'm praying for y'all and Megan Thee Stallion. I'm praying that God's goodness and kindness and love will lead y'all to repentance because the devil is deceiving you. Sexy Red, the hip hop rap artist named Sexy Red, I'm praying for her. I'm praying for Sexy Red. I'm praying for Cardi B. It's a deceiving message. Yep, the women in hip hop. The message, the message that the message that the hip hop rap artists are sending out, it's a deceiving message. And you know the devil's behind it. Sexy Red is being deceived. Cardi B, Sexy Red, they're being deceived. The devil is deceiving their mind. And this is coming from the word. Revelation 14:7. I'm praying that God's goodness and kindness and love would lead them to repentance. Repentance means letting God change your mindset. Merry Christmas. Bye bye.